The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
From Darcy Field in Rockville Center, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Nassau County non-league showdown between the visiting Seahawks of Cold Spring Harbor and the host Cyclones of Southside. Well, good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler along with John Geegan. And John, this is, for both of these teams, it's been a little bit of a mixed result type of season for two teams who are certainly county championship contenders. But one thing we know from here on out, like, this is the last dress rehearsal, right? It's for real now. You close out the regular season against league opponents. So for both of these teams, it's their last opportunity to kind of just see the right mixtures, the right combinations, making sure you're playing at the right level heading into this stretch drive of the regular season.
For sure. It's really a huge test for both teams to make sure that they're firing on all cylinders as you go into the playoffs. And I always say that you want to be playing your best lacrosse at the end of the season, and this game tonight is a great test of whether they're at their peak and where they need to be heading into the playoffs.
You see the visitors from Cold Spring Harbor, they're 7-5, and that's unusual for Cold Spring Harbor, right? They usually have 5 losses maybe in a decade, and that's the kind of season it's been. Now, there's been close losses as well. Like Dennis Bond said to us coming in, listen, we're 8 goals away from being 11-1, but on the other side, we're 4 goals away from being 3-9. So the margins have been that razor thin for Cold Spring Harbor this year, but they feel like they're starting to get it going, in large part because they're getting healthy. They returned Hayden Calabretta. This is his second game back from a shoulder injury that he suffered in Game 2 of the regular season. So he's been sidelined ever since. He's your top attackman. So just from a psychological standpoint, they feel a lot better having Hayden back there and now being able to have guys in the positions they want them to be. You had CJ Riley playing on attack. Now he can play more in the midfield where he's more comfortable and more dangerous.
Absolutely. And this type of game, at this point of the year, I think Cold Spring Harbor, what they really need to be able to do tonight is show that they can really dictate and control a game. Because I feel that they've played some great games, some great teams really close, but then sometimes they might play down to the level of a lesser team. And going into the playoffs, you need to show that not only can you play with the best, but when the opportunities arise, you're going to take control of that and dominate it.
They're coming off a 7-6 win over Wantagh. Ryan McGloin had 2-1. Andrew Mazzai had 1-1. CJ Riley, we'll take a look at him now, one of our players to watch. 5 assists in that game. Look at his numbers, 16-16. He's been right around 15, 16 goals for the last couple games. He doesn't need to score. He's not that guy who feels like he's got to score every game, but you see he's getting his guys involved as well. The Michigan commit, really balanced numbers across the board, obviously. Incredible athlete. And on the defensive side of things, we highlight Caden O'Connor. A year ago, split time, with Theo Torres at LSM, but now he's down low. Football player, tough, athletic, everything that checks the boxes of a guy who is in that position. That's what you want, and Caden O'Connor brings it.
Absolutely, and Caden will be physical. He's a rangy defenseman. Get out there, get out to the hands, and he's disciplined. That's the way I like his game.
Southside, they are 8-4 coming into this game. They too just had a 1-goal game, but that was a loss to Garden City by 1. So, as we get to it later in the game, we will detail keys, but those last matchups is one of those keys. But for Southside, they too getting healthier and getting guys in positions. With the Cyclones, listen, Garden City is Garden City. They will be a favorite every year. But if there's a year maybe to knock off the Trojans, especially considering what Southside brings from the faceoff X and Michael Melkonian, this might be the year for the Cyclones.
I couldn't agree more. This is a special year for Southside. I've seen a couple of their games up close, and Michael Melkonian is a special player and really puts them in different situations and gives them sometimes an unfair advantage against their opponents. And Southside this year, I keep saying, is one of the more balanced teams you see. There's not one person to key in, lock off absolutely, and then you're off and running. You can get attacked by Southside in so many different ways, and then add in that they have such an excellent goaltender in Gentile. There's a lot of different threats and a lot of different things you have to game plan for.
Well, there's a lot of guys to game plan for, but we've got 2 right now as our players to watch on both sides of the ball. It's Owen West on in the attacking portion of the field. He'll run in that first midfield line. The junior bound for Bryant. See his numbers there, 18 and 13 on this season, just a beast. He's taking over that role as that big, strong, downhill dodger, righty, lefty, good IQ, brings it all on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, we highlight Patty Mullen, the junior Providence commit. Tall, long, rangy, great feet, good stick, does everything. And really, that was a hard one for us, too, because we could have gone Logan Kelly. We could have gone Ryan Castle. We could have went with a pole as well and Will O'Toole. That's how diverse and dangerous this Southside team is.
For sure, and Owen West is a guy that, as I said, Southside's very balanced, but I personally think that when Owen West is involved and really making some plays, the Southside gets really, really dangerous very quickly. So we'll see if he gets involved early and see how it goes.
We'll take a look at the starting lineups now. First for the visitors from Cold Spring Harbor. And you see there, great to see Hayden Calabretta back. Just 3 goals and 3 assists on the season, but again, really limited. Did score against Garden City. That's a good sign. First game back, gets a goal. He's joined by the 8th grader, who is a special talent in Roy Testa. Andrew Mazzai rounds out that attack line. Your first midfield is CJ Riley, Alex Bauer, Ryan McGloin, and those poles. And Cold Spring is known for their poles. We mentioned O'Connor. It's O'Grady. And it's Timmy Pisano wearing his older brother's number 19. For head coach Dennis Bond, 24th season at the helm, a 1984 graduate. There he is, of Sewanaka High School. Really such an orchestrator of this program, which is state and national elite year in and year out. And in the cage for Cold Spring Harbor, it is Carson Kirschner, the senior. His next save will be his 100th of the season. You see his save percentage as well, 65% going to Scranton. Carson Kirschner stepping in for another great one in Spencer Will a year ago, but Kirschner has been really, really good for a team that has been trying to find themselves throughout this season. Now let's take a look at the starters for Southside. Cyclones, as you mentioned, 8-4 on the season, and some changes there as well. You've got Michael Aiello, Cole DiPietro, and Ryan Mehrhofer as your attack line. Your first midfield of West, Vanko and Jack Mehrhofer, and your close D of Kelly Castle and Mullen for head coach Steve DiPietro. 16th season at the helm, a 1992 graduate of West Hempstead High School. And as you mentioned, a special one in the cage as well. For Southside, that is, of course, number 1, Tommy Gentile, the BU commit, 89 saves on the season, a 58.6% save percentage, a 3-year starter. He has that athleticism, that calmness, that presence in the cage, and very even-keeled, which is something you always want to have in a guy who is pretty much always under duress. So that's the two teams we have for you here tonight. And wanted to mention that obviously by now the entire Long Island sports community has learned of the tragic accident that took the lives of two 14-year-old Roslyn Middle School students. There you see them, Drew Hassenbean and Ethan Falkowitz are gone way too soon. And on behalf of Varsity Media, we send our sincere condolences to the families of Drew and Ethan, along with the entire Roslyn community. Drew and Ethan were starters on the Roslyn varsity tennis team as 8th graders, which is just a tremendous accomplishment. So they will surely be missed and never forgotten.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your events or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Darcy Field here in Rockville Center, where Cold Spring Harbor and Southside getting set to go. Both teams wearing Morgan's Message T-shirts, and the proceeds of those T-shirts, there you see it on our screen, going to charity as well. Morgan's Message strives to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health within the student-athlete community and equalize the treatment of physical and mental health in athletics. Their aim is to expand the dialogue on mental health by normalizing conversations, empowering those who suffer in silence, and supporting those who feel alone. It is named after Morgan Rogers, a member of the Duke women's lacrosse team who sadly took her own life on July 11th, 2019 at the age of 22. So, John, certainly a great job here. You see both teams wearing it, joining together in their pregame. Such a great cause. I feel like lacrosse is a sport that just embraces these causes, numerous different causes. This one obviously is a really important and special one.
Absolutely, and Morgan's Message is a program I'm familiar with, and the big thing is that a lot of athletes are often community leaders, school leaders amongst their school. They're so focused on developing their craft, and sometimes if you lose the sport, when you're done playing, you try and find a place of where your significance is, and it can create a problem. And athletes that are leaders, sometimes it's not easy to go and ask for help and get the help you need. And Morgan's Message shining light on that is something that I think is extremely timely and really hits home for a lot of these athletes.
Yeah, that was the situation with Morgan. Unfortunately, suffered an injury that ended her season, and she struggled with that. Let's take a quick look at our keys to the game as both teams getting ready for Cold Spring Harbor. Control their fogo. Easier said than done. We want to make sure we have the correct matchups and which team shakes off Wednesday's game the best. For Southside, you got to play with intensity from the start, execute the game plan, limit opportunities, and hey, look at that, control the face-off X. And on cue, who's at the face-off X? We'll show you that right now. On the left is one of the better ones on Long Island, Michael Melconian. Look at that, 71% in the season. And Bryce Kipnis, just tremendous that he's even on the field after an ACL injury suffered in the fall. But 50% on the year. And honestly, Dennis Bond kind of takes that. 50% is a good number for Kipnis, considering those that he's gone up against. But it's a win. And a shot, first save as well. We almost had a Fogo goal, and a great save by Kirshner right away.
Great save by Kirshner. we always talk about here on Varsity Media that, you want to get that first save as a goalie, get under your belt and get feeling it. Kirshner gets that. But a great face-off by Melkonian, running right in, and that's going to be how the game goes if Cold Spring Harbor doesn't stop him earlier.
So now Southside getting into their attack. And as you mentioned, a 1-goal loss to Garden City coming off of that. So how will they respond? And what Steve DiPietro said, like, this is it for us, right? As now a flag is thrown against Southside. So I think they might have been offside there.
Definitely either offsides or too many men on the subbing situation, getting your right personnel on.
So Cold Spring Harbor on attack. And we've spoken to Dennis Bond numerous times this year. And one thing that he did say earlier, and as we mentioned, 7-5 is a strange record for a Cold Spring Harbor team. And he said all of our guys are very familiar about the tradition. They're all in the town. They were young boys watching the likes, maybe too young, but maybe watching the likes of an Ian Laviano, others as well, to win state championships. So he said, really, it's important. Like, they know the history, and he loves that. But don't get too caught up in, that's not who Cold Spring is. Like, we can't lose all these games. Just you want to play freely and not be burdened by the history.
For sure. You have to try and carry on the tradition as best as you want. But, at the end of the year, it really matters of who wins the championship. And Cold Spring Harbor can go ahead and do that. And, of course, they grew up with the greats of Adam Gettleman, Steve Pizer, those guys that have really established Cold Spring Harbor as a program on Long Island that everyone knows about. But if you go ahead and win and right the wrongs that have been happening throughout the season and at the end of the year finish strong, you're still a great team in the Cold Spring Harbor record books.
Gettleman, as that shot by Calabretta, the lefty look was high and wide. A 3-time All-American at Cold Spring Harbor, still doing his thing in the PLL. Love to see that as well. There's Testa, checked from behind. Ground ball picked up, and it's now a yard sale. And it will stay with Cold Spring Harbor. It was a good check initially by Patty Mullen, but then he lost it, and the Seahawks maintain their possession.
It looked like a little interference there or something like that after the loose ball. What I've seen so far this year is Southside likes to pack it in a little bit, play a little more tight defense. So Cold Spring Harbor, that last possession, they try and dodge through the defense. You're not going to have a lot of success taking a one-man dodge through. You're going to have to move the ball, get some opportunities fast, and feed back into the opposite sides. Change the field a bit, get the Cyclone defense rotating and sliding.
Here comes downhill, McGloin. Ball on the carpet. It's picked up by Testa, the 8th grader. The skip. Little hitch. And then Calabretta wanted to line that shot up, went in and out of his stick. Cold Spring will ride here, but here comes Southside the other way, and that one is down on the carpet as well, as like it was McNicholas who lost it. And then we try to go pole to pole, and a little struggle right now with the clear for Cold Spring Harbor.
For two very good teams, the ball's flying around a lot. It's on the ground a lot to start the game. I think that's just an indicator of the adrenaline emotions. We need to settle in here. Both teams could use a good possession, both on offense and defense right now.
And that's what Cold Spring will do here, it would appear. As McGloin plays catch with Bauer up top. Bauer, just a sophomore, part of that second midfield unit a year ago with Sammy Bruno. As a freshman, was a special defensive midfielder. Now, he's showcasing his skills on both sides, and what a takeaway. The feed was attempted to the crease, and just getting that long pole up was Logan Kelly. A tremendous caused turnover, as now Southside would look to clear.
Textbook slide by Logan Kelly. Southside was ready for the invert. They designated their slide guy very early. They zoned up the rest of the defense pretty nicely, and then he slides, picks off the pass, but didn't overcommit on the slide, so he didn't give anything easy. And that's what I think was really textbook about that slide. Not coming out of control, came out, made a play, and we're going the other way.
And now Southside will go settled here. They try to get something a little bit unsettled off the big faceoff win by Melkonian, which led to Kirshner's first save of the game. And as we said coming in, save number 100 on the season.
Yeah, Southside likes to dictate the tempo of the game. They play very purposeful offense where we saw against Wantagh. It was a very neck-and-neck game, and Wantagh started to miss the cage a bit, and Southside just kept going to this dictation-type offense, and they really just slowly just gained an edge here and there, and by the end of the game, they had a pretty comfortable lead.
Here's Chris Vanko, now part of this first midfield unit. Scranton commit. Was on the second midfield earlier in the year. Here's Michael Aiello backing it up. A guy who's put a lot of work in the offseason to get himself in the shape that he needs. He's gotten quicker. His hands have gotten better. He'll kick it out to West. And look at this, mano a mano. West and Riley, two of our players to watch in this one. Two of the better players out here, two future Division I players as well. West tries to get downhill. The skip. And the sun could be an issue as well. Good stick work defensively to take that one away. We credit Timmy Pisano. And the Seahawks tried to push the pace, but another turnover for Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Seahawks need to value the ball a little bit more, I think, in that type of situation because of the way Southside's going to play all game. You're going to have a lot of long defensive possessions. Your defense is going to get gassed. So coming down the field, if you don't have it, pull it out. We saw Southside just now in that last offensive set a couple different times, had some looks at the crease, but chose not to feed it in there because it wasn't a clear opportunity. And that's the type of offense they play. So on the other end, you got to match that.
And John, you can see too the shadows on the field, and you wonder how much that will play a factor here in the first half of this one. I think right now it's tough for Gentile on the other side of the field. Looks like he's the guy facing the sun right now.
Yeah, I would say it's probably center to Gentile's left side a little bit, but I definitely think I agree with you on that last pass from Owen West. As he moved it, there was definitely some sun in Southside's face.
DiPietro goes downhill, winds one up, and fires it just wide.
That was an interesting take there by DiPietro. There was so much traffic in front of the goal there that if that got on cage, I don't know if the goalie's going to have a clear shot there. It's going to be tough to see him.
Back up top to West. Now he's dealing with the long pole. And that pole is Caden O'Connor. So again, our players to watch are right on each other. You love to see that. Downhill, little bull dodge action. The goal line extended for Aiello. You love the physicality there a moment ago from Vanko. And now West against O'Connor. O'Connor takes a poke. West spins on him. Thought about the slide. Tries to get inside roll. Low shot. And the finish by Vanko in front. And Southside takes the 1-0 lead.
Solid executed offense there by Southside. Owen West, before we saw earlier, dodging a shorty. Now he gets a long pole behind, so he's everywhere. He knows he's drawing the attention, and he's sizes up, backs in, and he's really seeing that slide. You can see his vision was incredible. He saw the slide man actually through, and at the initial move, didn't draw the slide, so he stepped back, re-dodged, and the slide came, and he just fed the crease where that opened up.
And how about the hands of Vanko too, right? Where it's kind of behind him, but still was able to get it right and finish inside for his 6th goal of the year.
Great handle by Vanko. Finish it in traffic. Never easy to do. The Cold Spring Harbor fill in there off that slide was a little late, and he made him pay.
Melconian, another clean win for, again, one of the better technicians of that really difficult thing to do on the lacrosse field, winning face-offs. And Melconian, as we mentioned before, one of the better ones. Still just a junior, though. Sorry, everybody else facing him. Cornell commit, though, and we've seen some tremendous face-off guys going up to Cornell. Now a bouncer by Vanko after that swim dodge. That's over the mark.
Yeah, I probably, to the Southside fans, probably sound like a bit of a broken record talking about Melconian and what he can do. But he is a weapon that when you don't have someone like that, it doesn't matter how good your offense is if you can't get them the ball off a face-off.
Cold Spring Harbor had a pretty special one who went up to Cornell as well, Matt Licciardi, a few years back. And Licciardi was that stay-on guy as well. Here's Jack Mayerhoff. I always loved watching him, too. And now I sound like a broken record for the Cold Spring guys and all the broadcasts that we've done. That is a bouncer wide of the mark by Aiello. But I always love just sort of watching him, win the face-off, and then there's already a guy, I don't know if it was one of the assistant coaches or just maybe a team manager, set at midfield with his regular stick, right? That face-off stick was all beat up and mangled, but he wins the face-off, runs over, gets the stick back, and now is part of the offense. And Licciardi played for the Big Red, and now you've got Jack Cascadden up there, former Garden City stud, doing his thing. Got Mark Silos at Manhasset. You've got a Manhasset and a Garden City guy battling for time at the face-off up at Cornell.
I'm sure practices there are quite interesting. A lot of bragging rights going on.
Yeah, right. We beat you in this wood stick. Yeah, but we beat you the year before. And Cornell having a tremendous season in the Ivy. They'll be part of the Final Four being played right down here at Columbia. Semifinals tonight. The championship game Sunday afternoon at Columbia. It should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. This is always an exciting time of year for lacrosse. The Long Island Championships, and those come up for the Long Island playoffs, but of course the NCAAs, where there's so many different talents that have come from Long Island that are playing at the Division I, Division II, and 3 level.
Thomas Samuels trying to lower the shoulder, get a shot off, and again, not off the mark. As here's Calabretta. Little shake. Kicks it back out. Here's Riley. Tries to get top side.
Interesting, I'm seeing Owen West was getting shut off before on the offensive end, and that means he's going to have a long day because he's going to have to work to get open.
Oh, Riley. That first move, if we could show you that again, incredible. Dude, he took that into a different gear and sped down Peninsula Boulevard for the goal. Watch it again.
Yeah, when you take, this is a mix of a split dodge and a speed dodge because he changed gears, splits,
right
goes
there.
up, and he's so tough to get his hands on there that the way he dodged and downhill, it was almost impossible for a south side slide to even come there and meet him. So puts it off hip on Gentile there. From 5 yards out with a shooter like that, there's really no goalie that's going to make that save.
And I don't know if I'd even want to be that guy to slide with him coming downhill the way he was, man. That is a big dude. 17th goal of the year for Riley. We're tied at 1. And a face-off win for Cold Spring Harbor. Good job by Sammy Bruno.
Yeah, the face-off, actually, we saw Southside get kind of held under control by Massapequa a little bit because they kept throwing so many different looks at Melkonian. So I wonder if there was something different done there on the face-off X as well.
So he gets some nice applause, does Sammy Bruno, who has featured this year. It's been kind of almost like a three-man game a little bit at that face-off X with Kipnis being the lead guy. We've seen a lot of Sammy Bruno step in as well, and Theo Torres, the LSM, has come in there as well, and again, not used to that a little bit at Cold Spring. You had Max Hawkinson these last couple of years just be the guy, and they've seemingly always had that guy, and this year it's that guy by committee, as here's Riley trying to get topside.
Yeah, I was interested going into this game to see what was going to happen, whether they throw multiple different looks or try and have their ace try and beat Melkonian.
Testa's shot eaten up after Bowers was, and that will do it for a fast-moving first quarter. So Southside struck first, but then Riley's like, I don't care about the traffic right now on Peninsula Boulevard. I'm getting to the cage. It's the easy pass lane for C.J. Riley as Cold Spring Harbor and Southside tied at 1 after 1. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Darcy Field, 1-1 after 1 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We want to thank our sponsor for this game, Truvium Wealth Management, where trust is earned. Our clients want to feel confident in their financial future, and we strive to empower them to make informed decisions using logic and personalized advice so they can live a life of abundance and purpose. We designated our scope of financial services entirely around Truvium's mission of trust. Our capabilities and comprehensive and customizable, so we can find an exact fit for your personal financial goals. Whether you're a family, a successful professional, or a business owner, we work with each client independently to assure your questions are answered, your concerns are heard, and your solutions are the right fit for your needs. Reach out to us today for a free, no obligation college funding or financial planning analysis for all families of student athletes by scanning that QR code you saw there a moment ago. Best of luck to all teams, and this is not for me. Let's go Cyclones. I'm neutral in this one, but we thank Truvium Wealth Management for their support of this broadcast.
Off that face-off, Melkonian jumped a little early, so 2 in a row going the Cold Spring Harbor way.
Yeah, 2-2. So 50% is the number that, especially against the Melkonian, that Dennis Bond would absolutely sign up for when he arrived here at Darcy Field.
For sure, against someone like Melkonian, going 50%, it's preventing him from doing what he's capable of, which is completely taking over the game and giving the ball back to your offense after they score every time.
Here's Bauer switching to his left. Slide comes. The bouncer by Testa is saved by Gentile.
Yeah, right there, what you can see is that Southside, the reason they're so balanced is even when there's a little hole with some quick ball movement in the middle of that defense, you have Gentile there to make a big save. It's about a 10-yard hard bouncer, but he's a good goalie. You got to make it better to put it past him there.
Look at that ground ball by Testa. I think it's time now that I remind everyone he's an 8th grader. And yes, he's a special one, that Dennis Bond said. And again, there's been some incredible players, 35 All-Americans, and guys on attack still doing their thing, like Kevin Winkoff right now at Penn State, Ian Laviano, Matt Licciardi, Taylor Stroud, Riley Cox. He could be the next great one, as that's a shot wide of the mark by Ryan McGloin.
Southside packed in, as we said. Cold Spring Harbor looking to pull him out and get a long dodge here. We'll see how they slide.
Nice dodge, nice high shot, and a goal by Alex Bauer. And Cold Spring Harbor takes a 2-1 lead.
Tough one there for Southside. It was a great executed offensive set for Cold Spring Harbor. What they did was they overloaded the dodge side to clear out and make it tough to get a slide there. So downhill dodge to the right-hand alley, right where you want. And your slide guy there is kind of a little stuck in between, hedging whether to go and leave the easy layup or let the shot go. And the shot went, and it beat Gentile, sticks that high.
We've seen now both goals, both high. So we'll see if that's a coincidence or just something in the film that they saw. Cold Spring Harbor as Melkonian wins this faceoff.
Yeah, this last one, stick side high against Gentile. I'm sure he's thinking that he probably could have made that save, but it's tough when you're expecting your slide guy to go. You're trying to anticipate the guy that's off on your left side getting a feed for kind of a layup one-on-one, but also got to hold your own and try and make that save in traffic for that 8-9 yard shot he just saw.
So Chris Venko plays catch with Jack Meyerhofer, who now works it to X for West. West trying to back down O'Connor. Good defense by Caden. Great move by Vanko. Slippery. It gets to that far post, and that shot right to Kirshner.
Big save by Kirshner there. There's a lot of traffic in front of him. The ball got picked up on the end, and he was still ready for an in-tight save. It looked easy, but it really wasn't.
Timeout called by Cold Spring Harbor with 9:13 left here in this first half. 2-1 the lead for Cold Spring Harbor.
I definitely like that timeout right now by Cold Spring Harbor because they just saw some success, and I think what they want to do is, as a coaching staff, point out to your team what's working. The invert wasn't really working so much because Southside does a great job of clogging up that middle. But even if Cyclones are running kind of a zone, when you overload one side, you can't zone it all. So some guys have to move, and it's going to mess with Southside's defensive scheme. So I'm sure Cold Spring Harbor's showing that, hey, we move the ball fast, we overload, dodge the opposite side. These are the opportunities. If we keep going to this invert, that's kind of playing into Southside's hands because they are really disciplined in designating those slides.
Let's take a look at the upcoming SportsCast schedule here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. On Monday at 5, we head out to Bayport Blue Point, where the Lions of West Islip will head there. That was an incredible game a year ago, a 1-goal game. Should be a lot of fun. You want to watch CJ Schwartz for West Islip, tremendous face-off guy going to Albany. And then it's the Dalers against the Chiefs, two schools that do not like each other all too much. And then a special one on your calendar on May 13th. Also on that Super Saturday, it is Riggs Rock as Manhasset and Chaminade meet again. That's a 2 o'clock face-off at Gold Star Stadium. East Islip, Shoreham, Wading River, 4 o'clock. Hey, you can catch all those. You just sit around, hang out at home, 12, 2, and 4. That's awesome. And then Plain Edge and Cary round out the regular season 2 days later at 5 o'clock.
May 13th, a big day in Long Island lacrosse for sure.
Yeah, I often say, ESPN Plus might be your home for college lacrosse, but Varsity Media, man, that's where you get it all for Long Island. That is for sure. And that is one of those special days. A lot of Saturdays you kind of tune in. All right, what's Penn State doing? Let's watch Notre Dame Duke. But here we've got to spread out for you. You've got a full day, 3 games back to back. You don't have to miss anything on Saturday, and that should be some incredible stuff. Jump shot by Riley, wide of the mark.
Riley, big, strong, physical midfielder. Really reminds me of that type of Stephen Pizer midfielder that when I was playing against Cold Spring Harbor growing up, they always had someone like that was absolute beast dodging from up top.
That's another All-American. Well done. 35 all time at Cold Spring Harbor. And Pizer, you go back to 2004 when he was an All-American.
Yeah, he was an old teammate of mine, and he's just a special type of dodger, but you see a lot of that with Riley, too.
Bauer switches hands. Kick save by Gentile all the way back out to midfield. Big hit, and a flag is thrown, so we'll have our first man-up situation. We'll see the officials. Looks like it was a high shot, so this should be a 1-minute penalty against Ryan McGloin. So first man up, you see it again. Yeah, and that was from behind as well.
Yeah, I'm all about being physical and playing physical to let another team know you're there, but shot from behind off a ground ball, that's very, it's a tough one to say was the right play there.
So first time we see either team man up in this game as West gets it across, they work it around. Liam Livingston now in 13, he's up top. Here he is, part of that man up unit. Little wheel.
Yeah, strategy here, they have West buried in the crease, so you have to decide as a team, are you going to lock West and try and rotate around him and let him cause some problems, or do you try and rotate off him, and if he gets open, they're going to feed him.
Great job by Pisano to affect that first one, and then even better there by O'Connor, kicking it ahead. That shot wide of the mark by Bauer, but what you saw there was with the ball on the carpet, O'Connor just kicks it ahead, so he has more opportunity to just kind of pick that one up freely. So smart move, smart decision, as now Cold Spring Harbor will look to just push it around. And I think we're even. Yeah, we are even now.
Yeah, smart move down there, like you said, by O'Connor. When you're man down, you want to do anything you can to get the ball back on the other side of the field to try and kill that penalty. So just push it away, get it away from your net, and hopefully your offense or attackmen come up with a ground ball.
here's Testa at X. Talk about the great bloodlines for Roy Testa. Turns, spins, switches hands. That shot blocked in front, and Gentile gets it into his stick.
Solid defense there by Southside. They are very good, in my opinion, at defending the invert. They tried to get Southside's Logan Kelly stuck in between his slide, but he was smart. He hedged, came back, and then went again, and really made it difficult for Cold Spring Harbor to do anything there.
And as James Sullivan brought it across, it'll be a timeout for Southside, their first of this first half, with 6:03 remaining in the second quarter. We take a look now at our most recent Long Island boys lacrosse rankings, and see St. Anthony's, Manhasset, and Mount Sinai all still undefeated on the season. I mean, look, we talk about Riggs Rock and the importance. It's about the life of Jimmy Regan, who was a Manhasset resident who played at Chaminade, wore that special number 19, gave his life in service of his country. So although those reasons are no matter where these teams are in the standings and the kind of season they're having, it's a game that you circle on the lacrosse schedule when it comes out. But even now, look at that. They're 2-3 in our rankings. And Chaminade, right, like they've got St. Anthony's at St. Anthony's during the week, and then Riggs Rock to close out the week. So that should be a lot of fun in Mineola next Saturday.
Yeah, Chaminade and Manhasset, I know those guys watch Varsity Media. They know the rankings, so I'm sure that's going to come into their heads as that Riggs Rock game goes. And Chaminade's got a big week with St. Anthony's, who they lost the first one to, and going to meet them again, and then run right into Manhasset to a buzzsaw to finish off their regular season.
Manhasset also in the USA Lacrosse National Poll, the highest-ranked public school in the country right now as well. St. Anthony's #1 overall, but Manhasset, I think last I looked, was 3 or 4, which is certainly rarefied air for a public school team. You know, you've got a lot of those like Calvert Halls and you know, those factories, right, of those private schools. As that's a terrific look and a finish to the cage by Mikey Aiello.
Just what we talked about at the beginning of this game, different players can hurt you. Aiello actually taken out here, pulling the pole out, dodging the pole, which is what you need your best players to do in a game like this. Slides late, finishes high.
Aiello's 24th goal of the year. Ties things up at 2.
Most of the time in high school lacrosse, you see teams trying to attack those short sticks. We saw it earlier this week in the Syosset Farmingdale game. So Aiello then pulling out a pole, you actually slide later to your poles a lot of times. So to be able to dodge him, beat him right there at that 12-yard mark makes it really tough to defend someone like that.
Big face-off win there by Sammy Bruno.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor, like I talked about with the Massapequa game, changing it up against Melconian. And Cold Spring Harbor's changing when he's facing the same guy and figures out what he's doing 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's almost, you know, I hate to make the comparison sport to sport, but it's almost like an MLB, right? Like seeing the same pitcher. That's why you have those middle relievers and those like you get those games where you have like 5 or 6 different pitchers, right? Because it's all different looks, different angles, and they approach the face-off X differently, and it is hard to figure that out. As here's Riley.
Yeah, and it's a testament to the type of athletes Cold Spring Harbor has when you have 3 different guys that can face someone like as dominant as Melconian can be and all have different levels of success.
Calabretta kicks it back out. Here's Testa. Slide comes his way. Flags fly as well. Oh, Calabretta nearly took the net down with that shot off the post.
What a play there off the flag. But, yeah, it's south side. It looks like they slipped a little bit, got a shot to the head, and there's no ref that's not going to call that.
This will be a 1 minute. Here's Testa again. Right there, you see the shot by Patty Mullen. And then Calabretta, look at this. Oh, I feel bad for that post.
Great handle in traffic, catches it off the ground, and almost gets a nice finish there.
So first man up opportunity for Cold Spring Harbor, and it's for a minute. You've got one of your better polls as well in Pat Mullen.
Yeah, interesting to see how Southside's going to defend this because Cold Spring Harbor, you have some threats from the outside, but you have a great goalie in there in Gentile, so are you going to try and fight for the inside look where Cold Spring Harbor's better to defend, or get them spread out where Southside isn't as good as spreading the field defensively?
Here's Riley. Gets it back. Goes to McGloin. A bit of a cat and mouse game here on this man up.
Yeah, they're doing what a man up is designed to do: move the ball, try and get the team to rotate, the defense to rotate, and get someone stuck in between rotations. You have Southside here. What I think is interesting, they were playing with an open set against Cold Spring Harbor's playing with open set rather, and Southside short stick, number 24 there, Jack Lazito. He jumped out into the rotation, and he clearly knew what he was doing, and that's a really smart defensive mini at the high school level, jumping into the rotation and not letting their defense get stuck in between passes.
So now Calabretta jogs to X. Now he picks up some speed. He'll work a two-man game there off the screen. Calabretta feeds it in front. Haskell, the bouncer! And Cold Spring Harbor takes a 3-2 lead.
Tough one for Southside. They killed a penalty there, and they go back even strength and give one up. Great ball movement by Cold Spring Harbor. I think that's the key there. They do the two-man game, but as they draw the slide, the crease is open. But Southside did everything they could. 3 guys checking him there, but he still gets that shot off pretty easily. And top high bouncer. Those are just the tough ones. Goalies, a lot of high school goalies, we train to try and get on that. But that high bounce at the top of the crease in tight is just so tough to get a hand on.
Yeah, PJ Haskell is a big dude, big lefty. The junior, his 7th goal of the year. He's in for those man-up opportunities, and you saw there, obviously came right after. They went even, but you got that size and strength inside as a finishing ability. You could see why he gets the goal. He's still just kind of growing into his body. He's leaner this year, more physical. And he's on that man-up unit because he can shoot the ball, that is for sure.
And I'm sure I usually assume someone like Haskell, he would be able to shoot from the outside, but in tight there, in traffic, handling that just as good as anyone. And that size and that muscle, Southside threw everyone they had at him, and he still got the shot off.
West fakes it. Now pumps it back out. O'Connor follows him there. They'll play a two-man game up here. Oh, that was nearly an illegal screen. Good job just pumping the brakes by Cole DiPietro. He didn't get there quick enough, and it was great. He didn't force it then, right? He backed out of that.
That's one of my favorite parts about this Southside team is you rarely see them make an ill-advised pass to try and create things. If it's not there, they control the ball, and they clearly know it's their job to value that ball.
Kyle O'Grady gets it across. And Dennis Bond, not a happy person right now. Forced into that timeout as he has a conversation with Caden O'Connor. I want to remind you as well, you want to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel here for all of our future games. We've got late regular season and postseason lacrosse as well. You also want to follow us on our social media handles at Varsity Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So 1:49 left here, second quarter. It's Cold Spring Harbor with a 3-2 lead. These two teams played each other a year ago as well, and that one was a win for Cold Spring Harbor. 4-2, so a low-scoring one, and that one where Luke Giarputo had a goal and 2 assists. Hayden Calabretta, Max Hawkinson, C.J. Riley all had a goal. And Spencer Will, the kid they called Swill. Could you combine the S and the W? You get it. 10 saves for Cold Spring Harbor in that win. Brady West and Michael Aiello scored a goal apiece. Gentile with 5 saves. And then you go back to 2019. They didn't play each other the year prior, but in 2019, Cold Spring Harbor won it 8-6, where Brady Stroud had 2 and 2, and Skylar Wenger had 2 goals. Danny Striano 1 and 1. Remember William Pickett, of course. He had a goal and an assist, as did Brian Albertson, and Thomas Kelly had 2 assists. So even just going back to the last 2 matchups, tight games, and as expected, we are tight here as well late in the first half.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor's done a good job of trying to control Melconian, and I think that's one of the big reasons that we don't see any sort of lopsided offensive play. It's a very balanced game because kudos to the Cold Spring Harbor coaching staff because they game planned this one well.
And Melconian right now, by our numbers, 4 of 7. So not the dominance that he's used to, certainly. So now let's see what the Seahawks have coming off the timeout. Bauer to Riley. Back up top to Bauer. And there's Testa. Slings it. Gets it right back.
Southside sitting in a deep zone, almost daring the Cold Spring Harbor team to shoot from the outside on their goalie. This shows a lot of confidence in their goalie because any time you run a zone, you have to have a solid goalie, and Southside obviously has that in Gentile. But they're sitting back in, packing it in deep, and daring Cold Spring Harbor to shoot, using only 2 guys to cover those 3 out up top.
We've yet to see, now we do a little bit, we've yet to see those cutters as now we do, right, where Riley cuts across to give that additional option, right? Maybe you dunk it inside the zone, and then you could turn around and get a shot or kick it back out again. You want that zone to collapse if you can. Great cut. What a save by Gentile. Oh, robbing Bauer.
Huge save by Gentile. That's what you want, a goalie in a game like this. That's what he needs to step up, and that's why he's going to BU, making a huge save. That's a tough one off hip. Pops it up. His defense is there to grab the rebound and go the other way.
Now Southside will call the timeout. Look at it again.
Yeah, you see, Cold Spring Harbor, I think, got a little shocked off the timeout. They had a play going, and Southside comes out in the zone. So there's the feed, finally a cutter, and then you see Gentile right there, goes down to get it.
I think that was the right decision, certainly, right? You've got a guy in Bauer now. He's going downhill a little bit. He's got the ability to score. He already has one today. So, again, that's one way you can attack the zone. But Gentile, again, one of the better goalies on Long Island, right? So a great save on the other side of things, his 4th save of this first half.
For sure. It's Gentile making a difference there. But I also have to point out that's great coaching by Southside. Cold Spring Harbor uses a timeout. They probably have a set ready to go, and you come out in that 3-3 zone. It changes anything you're about to run. So as you mentioned, you didn't see those cutters yet because they probably had to change the game plan a little bit, make a new call, and then get that set and then get those cutters running. What they did, they had a good opportunity, but you need a better one against someone like Gentile.
Both of these head coaches have tremendous staffs as well. So for Southside, it's Tom Martello and John DiTomaso and Mike Bryan are the assistants. For Steve DiPietro, who is in his 26th overall season as part of this program, 16th as the head coach. And Cold Spring Harbor, Dennis Bond, he's got some great ones as well, and Christian Lynch and Paul McDermott. So let's see here inside the final 20 seconds if Southside can get a late one. Ten seconds. It's Livingston up top. Fed to the crease. Great look and a tremendous save by Kirshner. Climbed the ladder to make that save. Ball just fling downfield. Calabretta trying to get it, but he will not. So Kirshner responds on the other side with a big save to ensure that Cold Spring Harbor heads to the half with a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, great look down here. Hitting Colin Lynch rather. And everything you want, that's what your offense to do. But a goalie like Kirshner steps up, big save, standing tall, not falling for the fake and coming out too far.
Change your angles. Change your angles, you might get a goal. You've not had many, but it's been a fun one here in this first half. Cold Spring Harbor, Southside, all right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Darcy Field here in Rockville Center. 3-2 is the score, a low-scoring one here with Cold Spring Harbor leading Southside. Let's take a look at our first half stats. John, anything jump out at you here?
I would say that the balance of it, Cold Spring Harbor definitely has more shots, of course, a little lopsided there, but everything else is really balanced. The face-offs we've said a bunch of times is right into the game plan of what Cold Spring Harbor wants. It's a bit of a chess match, and I think credit to both coaches. They've prepped for this game. We saw Cold Spring Harbor try and figure something out a little bit offensively. They started to see some holes, and then Southside answered back with that 3-3 zone. So, of course, I'm sure there's going to be more changes to be made at the half, but it's a very going to be a very close game all the way to the wire, I think.
We mentioned at the start, and it's worth certainly mentioning again, that both teams in the pregame, as they warmed up, wore Morgan's Message T-shirts. And there you see it, the proceeds of those shirts go to charity as well. And Morgan's Message strives to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health within the student-athlete community and equalize the treatment of physical as well as mental health in athletics. Their aim is to expand the dialogue on mental health by normalizing conversations and empowering those who suffer in silence and supporting those who feel alone. It is named after Morgan Rogers, a member of the Duke women's lacrosse team who sadly took her own life back on July 11th, 2019 at the age of 22. So such a special message. Love that both of these teams combined for it, and they literally combined for it. There you see it, taking time out of their pregame warm-up to take a special picture, all wearing, you see the coaches as well, all wearing the T-shirts here tonight.
Yeah, great message, and I think it's one of those things that almost every program on Long Island could do a Morgan's Message game. It'll benefit everyone, and a lot of athletes could use a little more of taking away that stigma about mental health, because these athletes are everyone worries about their physical performance and health, but there's a lot going on up in your head to be a successful athlete as well, and that needs to be handled too. And
we mentioned as well the lacrosse community. It's so tight knit, and it is so giving. And giving back, and we mentioned Reegs Rock, which is a game we'll have for you next Saturday, and that special message, right, with the life of Jimmy Regan, remembering him. And we just last weekend out in Northport, we had the Louis Akampora Jamboree, which somehow is already in its second decade. It's remarkable to think, but remembering the former Northport goalie, and the importance of defibrillators and all those things. Like, it's great messages, and it's so important to continue that on year after year after year, so the current generation of Northport players and others know who Lewis was and what happened to him, and the importance of having the right equipment near the field to potentially, if needed, save a life.
It's so funny because I was actually explaining the Louis Akampora Foundation to my wife recently, because I was talking about when I was in high school and when he passed away in that tragedy, or middle school it was, but what that foundation has done to where every trainer just now happens to have a defibrillator on the field. That before him and his family, and the great things that foundation has done, it was kind of a rarity. So making every game, every field safer for the sport of lacrosse to be played on, and football and all the others, it's a huge thing, and you can't say enough about it.
Both teams in their final huddles before the start of this second half. And there you do see our upcoming schedule here. We start on Monday out at Bayport Blue Point. Doug Meehan's squad having a great year. The same is true there of West Islip. So that should be fun. And you got the Dalers taking on Massapequa. That Manhasset Chaminade game you mentioned. East Islip, Shoreham Wading River. That's a fun one as well. Plain Edge, Cary. No rooting in that one in the press box.
I'll do my best to not cheer for the Red Devils, but they're having a great year, so I'm excited for that one.
I'm not sure if Chris is our director on that one. Make sure he's not wearing any red that day, all right? We got to stay neutral as off the face-off win there is some movement by Bruno, and it's Southside with the ball. Let's see if the Cyclones can get going. I do expect, again, considering the history, what we've seen from these two teams, this is one of those, I don't even know if you get to 10 and win the game, right? Like, I think the winner gets to 7 the way this one's going.
For sure. It's a low-scoring game. Like we said, it's a chess match, and Cold Spring Harbor had a great look to end the first half. Southside, rather, and Cold Spring Harbor staff was not happy about it.
Great move by Aiello, his second of this game, and we are tied at 3.
Yeah, we're seeing Southside kind of attack this this left side of the goals field there. So they keep dodging this right alley here, and you see Ayala just a quick little face dodge, seals off his man, and buries it. It's a tough one for Kirshner to make that save.
25th goal of the year from Michael Aiello. Tied at 3. Did see Cold Spring had a guy coming out late, so I'm not sure if that was a late penalty or just something in the substitution game. Clean win, and you can see just a little extra mustard on that attempted pass by Melkonian, and it went off a stick. But Southside, as Cold Spring does, and it's one of the fun things about this matchup, they will ride. They will ride hard.
Southside's in a couple of the games we've seen, they've had a lot of opportunities off of the ride. They sit back sometimes they jump you. There's a lot of different things they'll do on their ride and keeps your defense and your goalie guessing.
Here's O'Connor. Great athleticism to get across. Caden O'Connor hands off, so a successful clear. And it's now Cold Spring Harbor going back on attack. And there's C.J. Riley. Lost his senior football season to an injury, so he is making sure he gets every ounce out of his last lacrosse season before he heads to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, tough to lose your senior football season, so it's great that he's on the field here, and he's obviously having an impact today.
Riley's a guy who will never be off the field. He rests on attack, and then he gets back out to midfield. And obviously with the Calabretta injury for most of the season, he's been forced to move up to attack, which now means you bring up a second midfielder, the first. So it's been difficult for Cold Spring Harbor where their depth and balance has been tested. That's a lefty shot by Bauer and another save by Gentile, his 5th of this game.
Yeah, good move by Bauer. Got his hands free, little shot off the roll on the hip there of the goal, and can't ask for much better of opportunity.
Look at this scrum right at midfield. Who's going to come away? Well, it's going to be a failure to get that clearance, so Cold Spring Harbor will come away.
Yeah, it's a great job by Cold Spring Harbor. In that situation, you're smart. You don't have to scoop the ball. You just have to keep it on the ground to get that failure to advance call.
A lot of the fans in the stands who wear the referee jersey as well, wanting an offside. But I thought it was a great job just to get back across in time by Ryan McGloin. So no harm, no foul. Look at Riley just into the teeth of the defense. Now it's loose right in front of Gentile. Look out. Mullen trying to scoop it up. It's picked up by Testa.
Riley running into the teeth of the shark there, and Southside did a great job collapsing.
Calabretta rounds the cage, gets the goal, and Cold Spring Harbor goes back in front.
Cold Spring Harbor, their attack was just vicious in that ground ball on the ride. Calabretta, they get the ball back, and you see him, he has a shorty on the wrong side of the cage, speed dodge, turn the corner, and finish.
Now, he won't get an assist on that play, but Testa's ground ball there, again, so important. It makes sure that possession stays alive, and Calabretta's able to finish it.
And that's what I use the word vicious. Testa was coming out. He wanted that ball, and it's great to have your attack that goes after ground balls like that, and those opportunities come off of plays just like we saw.
Another face-off win now for Melkonian. We mentioned Testa before, and again, I do sound like a broken record for doing these games, but Dad Brandon, All-American defender at Bethpage when Jim Amon was the head coach. And he won in '96. He went on to be the captain and an All-American at Johns Hopkins as well. So that's that bloodline that Testa has. So when you see him as an 8th grader and realize, the bloodlines, you're like, yeah, okay, I can see it. He should be out there. This is not forcing anything here.
I meant to ask you if there was a relation, because I think growing up I had, amongst other Lizards and pro players, I think I had Testa's autograph on my wall.
Nice. He might be down here somewhere. You can take a picture with him. I'm not sure. Nice dodge Handoff. Ooh, that might have been a high shot. It was. So a delayed penalty against Cold Spring Harbor. As Aiello will work on this free possession. Gets downhill. Lefty shot wide of the mark, but Southside will go back up on that 1 minute slash.
Yeah, we're seeing Southside going out of that 1-4 set a lot right now, which is it's creating some opportunities for them. So you're but you got your penalty and another opportunity.
That was Pisano on the slash. He's still there, him number 19. So 1 minute, man up for Southside. And that's exactly what you didn't want if you're Southside. Good. Fortunate for them, they do get the ball back up and maintain possession, but you got to value this possession and watch out for those active poles of Cold Spring Harbor.
Big one for Southside here. Interesting to see that West was in the crease before on man up, and now he's out on the perimeter.
West caught it backhand, goes low to high, and stings it. The man up goal ties this game at 4.
I said in the beginning of the game that I think Southside plays their best when West is key involved in rolling. And like I said, he was in the crease earlier, man up. Now you see him on the outside perimeter. Quick little shake dodge, hands free in traffic. Great shot, in that corner, buries it. It's a tough save for Kirchner to make.
West now with 1-1. Goal number 19 of this season. It's a man-up goal, and we are tied at 4. And now Melkonian getting into a rhythm. 3 straight for him.
Melkonian rolling, as we've talked about multiple times. That's the impact he has. Southside ties the game, and the ball's back on their offensive end.
Here's Ryan Meyerhofer.
And just like most faceoff guys, they tend to sometimes run off momentum. So as Southside has more success, I would think we'd see Melkonian having more success at the X too.
And all these guys, they all know each other. But I think no one right now that's a side-armed high attempt wide of the mark by Vanko. I mean, for my money right now, it's Cal Gerard and then everybody else. But if you go to that second tier, I think Melkonian's right in that mix as well.
Yeah, Cal Gerard, he was just so impressive in the wood stick, but I can't say enough about Melkonian. I've got to see him play a lot this year, and he's an excellent player.
West and another flag against Cold Spring Harbor. So Cole DiPietro, the head coach's son, part of a special unit. I mean, the teams that are public school teams, a lot of these guys all have played together, but this is a large group of guys who for a very long time have played together. DiPietro, part of that crew as that shot goes wide. And we'll have another penalty against Cold Spring Harbor, another 1 minute infraction. Here we watch it again.
Yeah, you see West is playing smart, and obviously he's hurting Cold Spring Harbor a bit, so their defense, they're telling him, you got to slide to him, you got to get to him. So they're worried about him, and that's, I think, what creates this type of penalty, because West has hurt him, so now Cold Spring Harbor's coming after him hard, and now all of a sudden Southside's up again with a tie game.
You have guys, excuse me, like Cole DiPietro and Michael Aiello and Owen West and Melkonian. All these guys are juniors. They've all been playing lacrosse with each other since like the 3rd grade.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nassau Lacrosse, they're coming back again next year, most of them.
All right, so let's see what Southside has here after scoring on their last man-up opportunity. 1 for 2. As Ryan Meyerhofer spins it up top. Feeds it right back. Shot, skip pass off the mark.
Great ball movement initially there with Southside. They had a look. West almost looked like he was open, and then they covered him quick, forcing them to move the ball around and jam that over the top look that went off the stick and out of bounds.
So now if Cold Spring Harbor can get the clear, which even when they're even in terms of their numbers is difficult, but they won't as it's taken away. And now here comes Southside as Ryan Meyerhofer picked it up off the ground.
Unlucky one there on the overpass, just losing it with your defenseman. Now we're even. but Southside's got the ball still.
So Southside now 1 of 3 on the man up. Aiello working on Pisano. I don't know if that's like a super cool thing or just a burden to wear the same number as your brother, who is an All-American. He's now in the Ivy League. That's what Pisano's doing, wearing that number 19. Low to high, opportunity wide of the mark. But I guess, if anything, it shows you the level you've got to be when you wear that number, right?
Something to chase, something to shoot for. And, yeah, there's definitely some pressure, but a good athlete likes that type of pressure. So.
And, of course, last year, Patrick Pisano, who's now at Yale, and Jesse Phelan, now at Dartmouth. 2 of the 23 kids currently playing college lacrosse who played at Cold Spring Harbor. Another testament to how much lacrosse means in that town and how much this coaching staff gets out of their guys.
For sure. I mean, and great defense there, killing the penalty. A lot of shots high, actually, from Southside. And that's a set that, you know, hopefully doesn't come back to bite them later in the game, because they had a lot of opportunities and didn't get to finish one there.
Cold Spring Harbor, I mentioned the 35 All-Americans before, and 5 New York State titles, 5 Long Island championships, 13 Nassau County titles. Remember, too, in their earlier days, they were playing in Suffolk County, right? So they got a championship almost immediately as they entered the Nassau part of Long Island, and they are, of course, also the defending state champions, 18-1 a year ago. And despite their record right now, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed, I think, to find a better Class D school in the state than them. So that's a little bit, look, you want to get your guys as tested as possible, play as hard a schedule as you can. Who cares what your record is, because more likely than not, when the state championship is played at Stewart Stadium, you're going to be part of it.
Yeah, you want to get your team playing at a very, very high level, regardless of what the playoffs will look like and what the rest of your conference is. And, yeah, you drop a couple games, but it definitely makes you a better team for it. You learn how to lose and play down.
Ooh, Testa just missed it, going low to high. And you could see that, too. He just kind of threw a punch in the air like, I had it. It was right there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he might have had Gentile beat there. That low to high, he let it rip, changing levels and from a close distance.
McGloin swims, goes the other way. That's Andrew Mazzai. Here's Calabretta, low to low, and that one was wide.
Calabretta, nice dodge, coming off the wing. They changed the field pretty quickly, so he dodged right back in and had a good opportunity to look at the goal there.
The 20th Cold Spring Harbor shot of this game. They're out shooting Southside 20-15. That shot blocked. That was Logan Kelly eating it. I think Gentile owes him a burrito here on Cinco de Mayo. We go the other way. No flag. Now there is a late flag. Wondered what took that flag so long to be thrown, but as now some tempers flare between the two, and thankfully cooler heads prevail.
Great play by Logan Kelly, getting the ball downfield. West has it. They're keyed on him. They don't want him hurting them, but unfortunately there's so much attention on him, he draws a foul.
So it'll be a 30-second push, the 4th man-up opportunity for Southside. They are 1 for 3. Certainly been lopsided in terms of penalties. This is the 4th one for Cold Spring and only 1 for Southside. West fed, and that shot right into the stick. Cole DiPietro's attempt saw all the way there by Kirshner.
Yeah, interesting defensive set on the man down there for Cold Spring Harbor. They're actually doing what's called a yo-yo, where they had their short stick flipping back and forth, locking Aiello, then Aiello takes him out of the play, and then they stop locking him. So trying to mess with the Southside offense there a bit, and it worked. you had not a great shot and Cold Spring Harbor ball.
Downhill, and the ball intercepted. And that's sometimes all you need, right? Just a little bit of contact and maybe make the attacking player, the Dodger, a little uncomfortable. And that was the situation there for Samuels, who turns it over. And quickly down the field, look out, swatted away. Ball's in front, final seconds ticking down in this third quarter. And no shot will be taken, certainly not before that final whistle blows. So as we expected, not a lot of offense here. We are tied 4-4. Owen West climbs the ladder, stings it low to high. And we are tied at 4. Cold Spring Harbor, Southside, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
We thank Truvium Wealth Management, where trust is earned. Our clients want to feel confident in their financial future. We strive to empower them to make informed decisions using logic and personalized advice so they can live a life of abundance and purpose. We designed our scope of financial services entirely around Truvium's mission of trust. Our capabilities are comprehensive and customizable, so we can find an exact fit for your personal financial goals. Whether you're a family, a successful professional, or a business owner, we work with each client independently to assure your questions are answered, your concerns are heard, and your solutions are the right fit for your needs. Reach out to us today for a free, no-obligation college funding or financial planning and analysis for all families or student athletes by scanning that QR code right there. Best of luck to all teams. And let's go Cyclones. Somehow got that in before the opening face-off of the fourth quarter. And this one goes to Southside. And they go quickly as Melkonian clearly recognizing the Fogo goal competition on the Varsity Media social media handles. Wanted to get in on that as well.
I think he wanted that T-shirt because Meyerhofer was off to the side open, and he still wanted to take that shot.
9 of 12 right now, so that was an even battle in the first half, and Melkonian has kind of separated himself a little bit.
Yeah, I think we did our homework. We knew what could happen and what he can do, and because we've seen it all season, he's a great player.
What a feed, and the finish. A tremendous pass by Livingston and Ryan Meyerhofer at the back post. 5-4 Southside.
Liam Livingston on the invert here. Great vision, no rush, sees the slide, hits the slide. That is textbook lacrosse. You're taught as attacking when you're dodging. You know there's a slide when you have a short stick. They want to help them out. So look right through where that slide's coming from, and that's where your open man is.
Ryan Meyerhofer's 20th goal of the year, Livingston's 16th assist. And clearly something went wrong there for Cold Spring because there was once the slide came, no one picked up Meyerhofer at the back post.
Yeah, no fill, and that's unfortunately, I think it was just a bit of miscommunication. I didn't get a look if Southside might have tried to pick the guy that would be the designated fill, because that's sometimes an offense will do that. That's real smart. But yeah, the backside fill, you would hope that he was there, and he wasn't, and Southside made him pay.
So now Cold Spring Harbor back on attack, looking to tie this one at 5.
Interested to see if Cold Spring Harbor is going to go back to the invert or go to their 1-4, but looks like they're inverting.
There goes Sammy Bruno. Gets it to Calabretta. Calabretta working on Logan Kelly. Two-man game there. Flashing there for a moment was Samuels. Nearly blowing a tire was Brady McKean. Great feed, and a flag was thrown on that attempt by Reagan Riley. So it'll be a push, a 30-second man-up opportunity for Cold Spring Harbor, only their second of this game.
Yeah, let's see on the replay because, you see right here where the feed comes in, but I'm not sure if he was pushed or he fell into the crease because that's one penalty to the other. If you're not trying to avoid the crease, it's on the offense. If you're getting pushed, it's on the defense.
So man up means the big man comes back in, P.J. Haskell, number 12. And we already have a goal from him tonight. There he is. Gets to the Calabretta at X. Opposite side, step down shot by Testa. And winning the race to that was Ryan Castle.
It looks like Haskell was a little late to back up there. Southside chases it, get that possession back. And that's a big one when you're man down.
Here's Patty Mullen. Chase down, loses it by Calabretta's stick check, but a great ground ball. And DiPietro calls the timeout as Chris Vanko picked it up.
Yeah, what I want to point out there is Pat Mullen was real heads up. He's getting chased down the sideline. He bobbles the ball a little bit, but the key is he started to go out of bounds. And it's automatic possession the other way if you play it from out of bounds. So he pulled back, saw his teammate there going to pick up the ball. He stepped off and made sure that his team had the ball for a timeout.
We said at the open, the final dress rehearsal for both these teams. Let's take a look at Southside's upcoming schedule. It is all Class B lacrosse going forward. It's Calhoun, MacArthur, and Jericho to close out the regular season for a Southside team that lost to Garden City by one. Garden City defending county, Long Island, and state champions. So Southside realizes, I think, probably just how close maybe they are to a Garden City. And again, the championship history maybe not there, and it's what they're trying to build here at Southside. Only that one Nassau championship, but that special 2014, man, they won Nassau, they won Long Island championship, and they won New York State as well. And so far, that's the only one up there, right? You had Kent Lucas, one of their All-Americans, 12 All-Americans in the history, and he was a big part of getting those banners up for Southside.
Yeah, that team, I remember playing against them, and they were something else. Kent Lucas, the Angelo and Jeremy Morano brothers, Mike Cove on defense. They had an incredible team and were dominant, but Southside's got another special group this year with Coach DiPietro.
So could this be the year that Garden City gets knocked off? Those answers still a few weeks away.
Yeah, and that last game, even though you lost, as a competitor, you never like to say it's a good loss, but that's about as good as a loss can get, and realizing you can hang with them and you're so close to taking it.
Here's West, and that's probably the thing, right? When you watch the film, I think you say to your guys, like, listen, we did X, Y, and Z wrong in this one, and we were only one goal off of Garden City, right? We cleaned those things up. We could win that game come the postseason at Hofstra.
Confidence builder for sure. You just see that you can hang with the best, and it's yours for the taking.
Now that said, Garden City, as Garden City often does, they raise their level when the second season comes around. So there's no guarantee from a one-goal game in the regular season that translates to the playoffs. Something special happens for Steve Fennell's team as they go into the winner-go-home portion of their schedule.
Just like we talked about, Garden City's going to watch that film and say, hey, we should have won this game by 5-6 more goals, and make sure we try and do that the next time they play too.
Here's goal to Cole DiPietro. Hobart commit. That explosive, quick change of direction, lefty-righty guy. Not afraid to dodge in either direction. He's got the D-Mitty and Max Franz on him.
Same invert worked for a goal before, so they go back to it. This time, Cold Spring Harbor has got the slide and the fill ready. No easy opportunity this time.
Well, spin by Venko. He's been good in this game. Again, moved up to that first midfield unit. Here he is, Venko, time and space. Blocked in front. And again, you credit the dudes who blocked that shot. Looks like that was Franz again, the D-midi, who Dennis Bond absolutely loves.
Yeah, it looks like he took that one, helping out the team any way you can as a D-midi. That's your job, and he sure did on the last play.
Good clearance up to Sammy Bruno. The last of the Bruno boys to play at Cold Spring Harbor. You got Jacob and Ben, a junior and a sophomore currently at Amherst. And Sammy, the baby brother, just the sophomore. So Dennis Bond's got a Bruno in his lineup for at least 2 more years.
Cold Spring Harbor obviously getting their personnel on the field. This is a big possession for them. They want to make it count. So we'll see what they go to. They were doing some inverts. They've also had some success against Southside, overloading one side of the field and dodging opposite. So let's see what they chose to go with.
Here's Bauer against the short stick. Switches hands. Slide comes his way. Backs out. Good job by Southside as that was Patty Mullen in on his hands.
Patty Mullen, big play there. What they did there on the dodge, you could see Cold Spring Harbor tried to dodge that weak side, but they changed him back, forced him to his left hand, going back to kind of the teeth of the shark there. Not the offense you want, so you pull it out and reset.
And here's Calabretta from X. Working on Jack Lazito. Turns the corner. Slide comes his way and a flag as well. C.J. Riley, hands off. Delayed penalty against Southside. Calabretta spins to his left. Now spins to his right. It's topside. Calabretta, hands off. Here's Riley trying to get topside. What strength by Riley to keep it. And the look, and the shot, and the goal. Testa from Riley. And we are tied at 5. And this penalty, it looks like a slash, will stay.
Huge play by Riley there. We're looking at the penalty here, so we'll see, drawing it back and forth, and then there's the slash right there. Just gets the check right there, just a little higher than he wanted to on his face mask.
So this is that definition, right, of an and one. Look at this poise and the strength by Riley, keeping it, but then not throwing it away there, right? And then the jump shot by Testa.
Yeah, poise, strength, and the vision. He saw right through 2 guys hacking him to the wide open Testa, and he's going to finish that ball, and he does.
So a man down face-off. Big one here from Melkonian. And he wins it. Huge face-off for Southside.
Melkonian really on a roll in the second half.
Melkonian tries for the glory, but Kirshner makes the save.
Melkonian still chasing that T-shirt, but Kirshner up to the task and makes a big save.
And a timeout called by Cold Spring Harbor. And you win the face-off, you're down a man. You got to hold that ball unless you're absolutely certain. And again, went right into Kirshner's stick. So a teachable moment, a learning moment there for Michael Melkonian. You see the Cold Spring Harbor sideline. Let's take a look what the Seahawks have coming up. And it's Carey coming to Cold Spring Harbor under the lights. That should be fun. They head to Plain Edge, and then they finish off at home against Bethpage. Carey, Plain Edge, having good seasons as well, so those will be tests, no doubt about it, for Cold Spring Harbor.
For sure, Plain Edge is going to have their hands full a little bit, though, with what we're seeing from Cold Spring Harbor tonight. Well coached, well executed. They do a lot of the intangibles really well that make you a great lacrosse team.
See, there's a look at the huddle, and Dennis Bond said this season maybe not the best for his health. He joked because, again, we said at the top, you're just 8 goals, and it sounds like it's a lot, 8 goals, but it's not, obviously, in lacrosse. But 8 goals from being 11-1, but also just 4 goals from being 3-9, right? And talk about something you've never probably seen before in Cold Spring Harbor, looking at a 3-9 season. But listen, 7-5 right now, going into the stretch drive. Obviously, you're tied in this one. A lot of really tight games. They went on their spring break trip, if you want to call it that, and you went up to Westchester, and they won back-to-back games up there by the same score in overtime. Just kind of crazy when you think about it, where they beat Rye and Yorktown 8-7, and Riley shoots it just wide.
Yeah, they 2 big wins in overtime. In a game like this, they're used to this situation, being close at the end of the game and having to execute.
They had a tight loss to Garden City that we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a low-scoring 1-goal game in that one as well, as it's Calabretta. Testa fires it across, trying to find Reagan Riley. Big ground ball picked up by McGloin. We're even now. Testa, the dodge, the bouncer, and the save by Gentile.
Huge save when your team needs it there to keep that game tied. Cold Spring Harbor ran that open set offensively, and it's sometimes tough to defend with man down because you have to cover the 3 nearest men. So Southside had the 3 guys covered on the near side of the ball and the 2 guys on the back side actually splitting 3. So that's where you saw that look cross field that was created there. But you got Gentile in the net, bailing you out, making a big save.
By our count, his 6th save. Both of these goalies with 6 saves, both college-bound goalies as well.
And they're both, as advertised, I'd say, making the saves they're supposed to for the most part, and some of them sometimes stealing 1 or 2 that they're not supposed to, and that's the way that you help your team win a game.
So in the substitution game, you get Owen West crossing midfield. And he's being locked off right now by Riley. So we'll play 5-on-5. Lacrosse with, look at a swim, the bouncer, and Kirshner got a piece.
Yeah, West was locked off a few times today. He ran just now and went to go and get that ball to inbound it. And it's interesting because when he gets locked, sometimes you'll sit there, sometimes you fight to get open. But Southside, they're a balanced team, so they don't feel the need to have Owen West fight the whole time and exhaust himself getting open.
Aiello! Southside takes a 6-5 lead.
Coach DiPietro obviously pumped up. The sideline from Southside pumped up. And Aiello here, just a clean dodge of the short stick again on the invert. Spin, finalizer, over the top on the corner, finishing it.
From Michael Aiello, goal number 3 of this game. And I've never been good at math, but I can tell you right now that is half of his team's output today. 26 on the season. Melkonian, the face-off.
Just like we talked about at the start, Southside can hurt you in a lot of different ways. They're a balanced team, so that's how it is.
Now you wonder here if DiPietro wants him not to play keep away, but just pump the brakes here a little bit, right? Let's have some possession. Realize the clock is in your favor, the score is in your favor. Not saying get it down to the point where you get a stall warning, but get a deliberate possession here.
Absolutely. That's the right move to make as a coach. Don't force anything, nothing easy. We talk all the time about how and when could a shot clock be actually implemented in high school lacrosse because of these types of situations. But if it's not, use the rules to your advantage. Southside's going to hold the ball, nothing crazy. Look for a really high percentage opportunity.
Here's Livingston. You've got cutters there. You saw Aiello cut across. And Ryan Mayerhofer rounding the cage. And Kirshner telling his defender, the short stick in Bruno, to get out on his man. And when they do get inside 2 minutes, they'll have a stall warning regardless. That's the rules, as that's a bouncer wide of the mark. And so we're approaching that momentarily, as now Kirshner is out of his net as the extra defender.
Yeah, interesting. 2 minutes and have Kirshner come out. It's pretty early.
And that's an easy one for Cole DiPietro.
Kirshner's an athletic goalie, so I understand the move to have him come out, because Southside's not really trying to go to the cage and you want to get an opportunity back. But what happened here, Kirshner came out. Once the ball gets above GLE and they have a good look at the net, you usually want to get back in a little earlier because the empty net is too easy to hit.
So Cole DiPietro picks up his 13th goal of the year, and Venko gets the assist. He's got 1-1. Now the negative against Cold Spring doing that here is just this. You lose the faceoff as well.
Yeah, tough to understand, but like I said, they probably have a lot of confidence in Kirshner as an athlete to come out of the net and challenge. But yeah, Melkonian can impact the game.
And now you have to come out of the net.
Chasing 2 now. Southside has good sticks, so you have to now chase and go after that.
Smart by Southside. It's almost like a four corners kind of game right now, but they lose it. And now Cold Spring gets the ball back. Reagan Riley in and out of the stick of Calabretta. Costly late game mistake. As now Cole DiPietro just runs to the furthest point from his own goal. He'll take the abuse, doubled, and Southside will call their final timeout with 1:02 left in this fourth quarter.
A little extracurricular going on there after the whistle, but it's Chippy and Cold Spring Harbor is going to keep coming out and hacking, trying to get that ball back.
I want to remind you again of our upcoming schedule on the Varsity Media Sports Network. West Islip, Bayport, Blue Point. 2 teams similar to this, different classifications, but a late season, regular season battle at Bayport. About a 10-minute ride from my house, so I'm not complaining on that one. Farmingdale, Massapequa, part of Super Saturday on Varsity Media. Manhasset, Chaminade, EI, and Shoreham-Wading River. And then we round out the regular season with Plain Edge and Cary on the 15th at 5. In Suffolk County in Class C, it's Mount Sinai at the very top, as we showed you on our rankings, undefeated. They've beaten both Shoreham and Bayport. But a lot of people in the know, and you talk to different coaches, and like they're saying like this could be Bayport's year. They've got dudes, right? Like they've got some guys there, so that should be a fun one. And West Islip, similar to Southside, they've got a goalie in CJ Schwartz who just impacts the game in a big way. And again, the Lions, right? They're not quite like the West Islip of years ago where they won all those state championships. They were a Class A team then. Now they're in Class B, battling the likes of Comsawag and others, but East Islip in that mix. But they're a team too that feels they've got quality wins, but also they're putting wins together now. And you've said it numerous times. You want to end the season in a good way, and that's what both of those teams are doing. So should be a fun one at Bayport.
Yeah, it should be a great game. And West Islip, it may not be the most overpowering, dominant West I teams of the past, but you have a good goal, you have a good face-off guy. Those are kind of the old school rules and keys to build a championship team. So we'll see how that one goes. It should be fun.
So here we go off the timeout. Michael Aiello is run out. So Cold Spring has some life here inside the final 57 seconds of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, great double by Cold Spring there. You want your 2 smartest and most athletic defenders doubling the ball in a situation like that because you don't want to commit a foul, but you want the ball back.
And the Seahawks will utilize their final timeout here. 48 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. See Dennis Bond, another close game. We mentioned sort of their season, and a lot of it has been here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We had their first game of the year, that crosstown rivalry game against Huntington, and they won that one by 8-7. Farmingdale came to town, and the Dalers won that 9-6. Then those back-to-back overtime wins up in Westchester over Rye and Yorktown. 1-goal loss at home to Garden City as well. Then you had, you mix in those comfortable wins with Floral Park and Island Trees. A home loss to Port Washington, and then a loss at Manhasset, and then a loss at Syosset. So 3 straight losses there. You bounce back against Lynbrook, and then you bounce back against Wantagh. So you've got 2 wins off those 3 losses. That's Cold Spring Harbor, again, trying to head into the postseason on the right note.
And this is a great situation to learn from to get prepped for the postseason, because using the last time out there, you have to talk about what you want to do right now with 48 seconds left, but then you also have to talk about, okay, we're going to face Melconian again at the X. Who's hot? How are we going to play that? And what's the next set to be ready to run after that to try and tie this game too?
Southside 8-4 in the year. Beats Syosset right away. An overtime win at Port. Swim by Riley, shot over the goal.
Big dodge by Riley up top, swim move, gets through. Tried to get his hands free, but they got a little lift, it looks like, on his hand, and the shot sailed high.
Riley again. They've got to go here, 30 seconds. They're down by 2. Testa fakes it. Great defense by Southside.
Southside packing it in, not giving anything easy.
A skip deflected. And I think it was Lazito who got a piece. Now that's a ground ball, and then a late shot as well. And some more pushing and shoving. Riley involved. It's Riley's penalty, and at least according to the clock here, that one came right at the end. So this game should be over. And there you see the motion by the official. So it ends with some emotion, but now the emotion is celebration by Southside. A big 7-5 win for the Cyclones.
Yeah, big 7-5 win. Southside did a couple really nice things. They got a lot of balance, different attack from not just West, but Aiello, different guys getting involved. Melconian taking over in the second half, really being dominant with some of the face-offs. And then, of course, just like we know, Gentile making some big saves when it counts as well.
Still some chatter among the teams. You would think this is a league matchup, right?
Absolutely. But towns that have good programs, then no one likes to lose at this point in the season, I'll tell you that.
Southside led tonight by Michael Aiello. 3 goals for the junior. And then a lot of singles. Cole DiPietro with 1, Owen West and Chris Vanko with 1 apiece. He had an assist as well by Livingston in a great game in the cage by Gentile with 6 saves. And then 12 out of 16 for Melconian. And all that leads to the 9th win of the year for Southside. Another close defeat for Cold Spring Harbor. You had singles across the line there. Hayden Calabretta and CJ Riley with 1 and 1. Testa, PJ Haskell, and Alex Bauer with 1 goal apiece there as well. And you had 7 saves by Carson Kirshner. So it was a fun one, and it's Southside getting the victory, and let's see what that does for them as they go forward in the regular season. We mentioned all of their Class B games, and a year ago they were in Class C, losing them in Hassett in the county championship. So let's see what the move up to B does, and likely facing a Garden City again. So that'll do it here from Darcy Field. 7-5 is your score. Southside victorious for our executive producer, Ben Turchin. Our technical director, Chris Sweeney, Travis DeLuise, bringing you all those moving images for John Deegan, Gillen Butler. Thank you for joining us from Darcy Field. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.